welcome back, family. Welcome to the Reiki Healing Hope Community, a place to heal, relax, be yourself, and be surrounded by those who want to see you blossom and or bloom. I am Jessica Sup. I am a Reiki master teacher and intuitive, and today we have a special healing session. It is all about cleansing the relationships in your life, okay? So if you're new to the community, welcome, babies. This is your nightly self-care routine, a place where you take care of yourself, you be sweet to yourself, you do whatever you need to do during this time to do you feel me? Anyway, you're not my baby, so welcome to all my new babies, and welcome back to all of my returning babies. Mama loves you, you're so sweet, so cute, so let's go ahead and get started, okay? Now, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and begin to breathe on your own. We're going to start this session off with a prayer. It's not a religious prayer, it's just a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and bring us together as a community and as a collective. And because consent matters, to have your permission to say a prayer. Okay, just give yourself a nice big ol' hug and show yourself what it feels like to have true trust, true love, true support, true guidance, true companionship. Give yourself this nice, sweet hug. And we're gonna go ahead and get started, okay? May I touch you? Okay. Dear universe, and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest self and validate information for our highest good only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. So just cleansing. I'm gonna start here. And let's just cleanse those connections, okay? And I was talking about this yesterday, that when we have issues in relationships, but our physical body is fine, our personal life is fine, just us as an entity by ourselves, then that can be an indication that you need to do some ancestor connecting. And that just really depends on whatever your lineages are. And also just talking to your ancestors. It can be grandparents, it can be, very close family members. Those are our, recent ancestors. So you can just talk to them, and the way that you talk to them is just acknowledging them and thinking about them in a fond way and happiness. Because oftentimes we are a combination of all of their experiences as well. So we're gonna have some overlapping themes that will show up in all of our lives, okay? Now, I'm a huge proponent of boundaries, and so when you're healing relationships, be mindful of boundaries too. Be safe, healing people that you are close to. It can be a very vulnerable thing, and also some people love you and they do not know how to respect boundaries. Some people have good intentions you, they just don't know how. And what ends up happening is that when someone gets stuck on, well, they're not bad, they just don't know how to love me, I'm gonna stick this out, and they don't create boundaries, the issue only gets worse, because to the other person it seems like, oh, this is how they want to be treated, versus you can understand that someone is not a bad person, or that you yourself, you're not a bad person, but the approach needs to change. And the only way that you can shift or change that approach is kind of learning the hard lesson of, no, you're not allowed to come around me if you're going to act like that. When you're ready to act different, then we can have a conversation, or for you to receive that yourself if you're off the chain, that life is telling you, like, no, not right now, you're not allowed to do that until you can balance it out. And that can be healing. Sometimes people are too afraid to say no to people because they don't want to hurt their feelings, or they don't want, they don't want it to seem like they're they don't care. But if you really care about someone, you'll give them boundaries so that they can be better. If people really care about you, they will give you boundaries so that you're not being enabled. Because in these beautiful relationships in which there are healthy boundaries, things are just so free flowing. It is literally freedom at its core. And when I say it's freedom at its core, I mean, like, you're not worried if they're going to come back, or if they're going to be here today or gone tomorrow. You're not worried about having to say the right thing, or if, you're misinterpreted. You just enjoy them. And that's because you have your boundaries, they have their boundaries, and you all have a mutual level of respect for each other. And you cannot take that into your life with everyone. There's been times in all of our lives where you love and you care for certain people on multiple levels in your life, but you could not be in their life because you weren't ready, or they could not be in your life because they were not ready. And respecting the fact that you can't carry them through, no matter how much you care and love. Sometimes you'll be reunited, and sometimes you won't. But I always think it's interesting that there's this fear of not, having resolution or being reunited, and then nobody ever thinks about the fact that there are so many people out here in the world that you have yet to meet who will love you fully, who will be supportive of you. Your connection to them, you just had to get to a certain point where you expected more, and you could give more to yourself, and then they show up in your life, and they are love and they are balance. So while one can be sad about, oh, I don't want to let this or that connection go, just to remember what you need will always show up in your life. I feel very strongly about this when it comes to parenting too, whether it be parents or whether it be children. Even if you feel like you don't have a good relationship with your mother, with your father, that doesn't mean that the universe didn't send mother figures, father figures, grandparent figures into your life that acted in a way that you had wished your parent to be. But it is not a moment to feel sad of like, oh, I really wish my parent acted like this. It's more of like, the universe provides regardless. You just have to open your view to it. It's the same thing with children too. Sometimes as children get older and they become adults, and there's a distance or something like that, there's a feeling of like, oh, or if you have a kid who's kind of always kind of getting in trouble or something, or I won't say getting in trouble, but just always has a problem. And for them, in order for them to grow up, they kind of have to learn how to figure it out. You gotta learn how to, figure this out without wanting to be babied for the rest of their life, even though I'm a baby you all, but wanting to be baby for the rest of the life. Life will still send you children who are those examples that can have that dynamic with you. And it love your, kids less. It just means that the universe always provides, and we have to open up our frame of perspective. We can't just be limited in a box. We have to accept all the ways that the universe provides, because most of the answers that we're seeking and we're searching for in life, they're right in front of us. But if we do not have the sight or the perspective to see, we're gonna miss it. We're gonna be like, oh, I still don't have no problems, because you want it a certain way, and maybe that certain way is not best for you. Now for the love relationships. Yeah, I'm about to talk about some struggle love. If y'all know what a struggle love is. Struggle love is when you love someone and they love you back, and then, but at the same time, y'all are not the best partners for each other, or these are not the time to be a good partner for each other. And even though you love that person, there's a lot more damage that comes from it. But the struggle love is that, oh, if I hold on to it one day, if and when this person gets better, I can say that I am a true lover because I held them down during their tough times. No. No, you enabled them. And that doesn't mean that you don't be a good partner to someone when they're going through a tough time. Tough time can be health, tough time can be money, tough time can be job related things like that. If that tough time includes disrespecting you, cheating, lying, it doesn't matter how much you love them or they love you. And also, if you are the person doing that too, it just shows that you, them, or both of y'all are not ready to be in a relationship, or y'all are just not, the right relationship for each other. And look, when you stand in a line long enough, you're gonna feel real bad if you get out that line. You're gonna feel like, oh my gosh, if I get out this line, But maybe there is an entrance over there in the corner that did not require a line, and you're gonna stand in this line forever. And I think what is tough or difficult for people, for anybody, is the fact that when you get out of the line, you trust yourself. You'll always have a better option 100% of the time. But that better option then puts you in a position of having to ask yourself, why did I stay in the line so long? And so some people stay in struggle love, not really because they're just so down for that person. They stay in the struggle love because they don't want to work through their own individual stuff, because once that distraction leaves, now they gotta work on themselves. And that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. But, when you just kind of show up and work through it, it's scary, but once you get to the other side, you feel better. You feel lighter. The energy feels super good. So let's bring into your life the right kind of relationships. But I want you to understand that the power is always within you. It is not outside of you. It is within you. When we go into these energy healing sessions, I'm asking the universe to open up within you and understanding that you have the power. And when you start to take your power back, a lot of things will unravel. And if you can just make it through that transition period, there's a lot of beauty on the other side. So don't be nervous or afraid. Or be okay with being nervous and afraid. It's fine, you'll still be able to do it. So, bringing that heart will support you and bring you what you truly deserve in your life. And that in the end, regardless of if you all are connected or not, that you both are healthy and happy. And that's kind of tough to realize that you and another person could be in sickness together, and that you could be happy somewhere else and they could be happy somewhere else. But if you truly care about someone, if they truly care about you, they would want you to be happy and healthy even if it wasn't with them. So just cleansing through that there. That's why this energy work is some powerful stuff. Because sometimes people want to force a happy ending on something that is festering versus really working with the universe, which is we're going to go through all kinds of life lessons and they don't feel good all the time. But if we treat ourselves right, if we support and love ourselves, we will always find what we're actually looking for. But don't be afraid of loss, because the art of losing isn't hard to master, even though it may feel like it. Write it. Disaster. It's just one moment. It's always hard to explain or express to people that the loss is no disaster. It's not. It's a part of your elevation. Think of how you continue to evolve, and that raises your level of consciousness. It doesn't mean that everyone has to exit your life. It just means that when you heal those relationships, when you heal yourself, but in the physical, because I talked about this on Patreon, I actually recently posted about this. In the physical, you may not be able to be in contact with them on an energetic level. You can be happy for them and hope the best for them. But on a physical level, you have to take care of yourself, because the universe pays attention to how we treat ourselves. You are not seen as better or in a better situation, or more favorable is what I'm trying to say, if you put yourself down in order to lift someone else up. Because what you're showing that other person is, it's okay to put yourself down in order to lift somebody else up, so that they start feeling guilty that you're doing that, and it creates anger and upset. So all of these unhealthy dynamics, they can be balanced, but you may not end up with them people. And I think many traditions have talked about unattachment, and that's what it is. It's not that you can't love the people that you're around. It's you unattach to the outcome and you enjoy the moment as it is. And when you do that, you'll be more likely to attract people in your life who have that same kind of energy, and you all can go and flow together. But understand that you have this flow of energy coming into your life, and it's going to be represented by many people. And instead of having such a limited view of mine, which is, oh, it has to be this one person or these set people, open it up to universe. It doesn't matter who it is, just let the energy come in, and you will have balanced connections with many people, and you'll be able to allow them to flow in and to flow out. But when we get so, oh, it has to be this one person, what we're really doing is energetic codependency, and that is something that our soul is not here for that. If we're all here, to raise the vibrational frequency, then we have to connect in ways that give everyone autonomy and freedom and love. And love doesn't always mean it is a physical thing. Love can be from far away. You acted a little weird, but I'ma love you from a distance, you know? And sometimes when you can put boundaries on someone quicker, it can actually save the dynamics of the relationships. You have somebody who you're in a relationship, they cheat on you. The quicker that you say, no, you can't be in a relationship with me anymore, the more they probably might get themselves together, versus just turning a blind eye to them cheating. Then they're gonna do it again, or they're going to feel so bad that they did that to you that it starts to come out in other ways, and vice versa. And we start the session off with a prayer. It's not a religious prayer, it's just a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and bring us together as a community and as a collective. And because consent matters, to have your permission to say a prayer. May I touch you? Okay. Dear universe and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest self and allow us to validate information for our highest good only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Okay, so let's just go here. Now, if you really enjoy deep ancestor work, so we're just gonna be a that same energy from your head to your toes. I was gonna say from the rotor to the tutor. From your head to your toes. Okay, good job. And invite as many of those important people into this space. Those important people that were in your life into this space. How do you feel? How safe do you feel? How loved do you feel? How nurtured do you feel? How reunited do you feel? Now, start to ask or just simply have a conversation about things that are happening in your life today and get their take on it, because they are always with you and they've been eager to communicate with you. But if you haven't been listening to them, if you haven't been paying attention to the signs they're giving, this is a nice moment to open up and just be receptive towards that. What are they saying about this? Who you've been dating, or the projects you've been working on, or the purpose of your life. All these kinds of things. How you take care of yourself, your personal health, your mindset, mentality, your relationships all across the board. Even if that incorporates healing something about y'all's relationship. Because when we're healing with two people who are alive, it's very different. Sometimes those people in the physical may need some boundaries, but energetically they can connect. When you're healing a relationship with someone who has passed on, they are at a higher vibrational frequency. They can see things more clearly, and it is much more positive feedback right in that moment. And so if there's any healing that needs to happen there, let it happen. Let it be healed with a hug, with a kiss, with a look, with some words, with just the presence of that person or those people. And you can actually start asking questions here. And the questions can go like, well, how do I know it's you that you're sending me a message? I want to pay attention to what you're saying. And they'll let you know. Whenever you see a feather, whenever you smell roses out of the blue, whenever you just think or see a random color, that's me communicating to you. And of course it is unique to them what they're saying. And listen, because this is all about exercise. You're exercising your ability to do this so that you can hear them more and more, because there are things that you may not be able to see in your life, but they can see it a mile away. Because everything that we have and that we do in our life, it starts energetically and then it materializes. So they can see things that you may not be able to see, because they are pure energy at this point. So think about it. If somebody's going down a questionable path, the energy flowed in that direction and then it materializes. So your ancestors try to come and intervene, like, don't hang out with that person, don't go there, don't, and it doesn't always have to be people, it can be your health too. Hey, take care of yourself here, take care of yourself there. Same on the other side. If you're working really hard to build something, your ancestors see that too, and they will pop up and say, oh, I'm so proud of you, I'm so happy for you. But the only way that you can be connected is if you acknowledge them. So there's a lot of really sweet things you can do, and this is one of those things, just being in this moment with them. And that's why I said look up your indigenous traditions, your genealogy, because they can specifically tell you what your ancestors need. Your recent ancestors, you know them, you know what their favorite foods were, their favorite things, and you can, near their pictures, provide those things and talk to them, maybe just in your head if you don't want to say it out loud, to show them that you still care. But if you get into the deep lineage legacy work, then you would want to look up your genealogy, your indigenous traditions, and connect there. So breathe through this space and just feel them and sense them all around you, okay? Let them just flow. finite here in the physical. Energy isn't finite. You can have a grandparent who's there for you and all of your siblings, as opposed to you're right here. You can only be there for somebody one at a time, or if people are in the same location. So understand that all of these energies will show up for you. Don't feel like that they have more important things to do. They're showing up for you. But at the same time, I think that they're exploring. They're having a good time. They're living their good energetic life. But souls can stick around a little bit because they really want to reunite with you. Eventually they can move on, go on, reincarnate, go do something else, be a part of some other energetic something, that of which is too big for probably us to comprehend. But the reason why they are sticking around is because they cannot wait to the day that they can reunite with you. And so they feel invested in your storyline. They feel invested in your happiness, invested in your peace, and also everything that you experience. A part of that is legacy. If your ancestors were never able to be successful, if they had trials and tribulations and stuff like that, but yet today you have the opportunity, they are going to be rooting you on, because through you, even though you have your own unique goals and desires, you are living out a dream that started out many ancestors before. And so these ancestors, they come together and they want to be in support of you. And it really hurts them when when I say don't pay attention, it's not that, oh, you gotta listen to them. That's just listen to me. But when they're saying, we just want the best for you, and those situations aren't best for you, and you're thinking from a very finite perspective when your soul is infinite. So yes, you have these finite experiences, but also understand that your soul will go on past here. And when your soul transitions from this life into whatever the unknown is, understand that you are laying the seeds and the foundation in the finite for the infinite. You can heal a whole line, a whole ancestral line from the past all the way to the future, because we are the future ancestors. And we can do this in finite ways as well as energetic ways. Finite ways would be financial security. So you are creating environments of generational wealth or financial security, so those who come down in your lineage do not have to go through the same things that you went through. It can be emotional support and emotional balance as well. Maybe those environments in your ancestors didn't have a emotionally supportive environment, but you, where you're at, you can set a new tone. And when you do that for the future, it heals the past, because you all are this one flow of energy together. So continue to be there. I like to try to explain what's going on, because I don't want you to just be floating out here, because there's actually a lot of interesting things, phenomena that's going on. That's why when you learn other traditions, you learn other human phenomenon explaining, the unknown, it gives language to a lot of these mysteries, and that's kind of a connection of all of those together. And some of the language, different words can mean a similar experience, just from a different origin or a different culture. So keep breathing with this. Now, if you have any fear here, okay, any fear, if you were raised in a really maybe like strict religious household, not spiritual household, but a religious household, you have to do a lot of deconstructing here. What I mean by this is go do some history research. Why am I telling you this? Okay, because all of our indigenous traditions of the world were people at that time, prior to our modern day religions. It was their take on what was going on around us, and they developed patterns and understanding and systems well before written communication that helped them navigate the world. is something that we all just have done. And you can, the color of doing it is going to whatever your indigenous or your genealogy is, and learning the practices there. But with that being said, in our modern world, we have vilified our indigenous practices, meaning saying that all of those practices are in some way in conflict with modern day understandings of higher powers, when the mentality of them being in conflict or them being wrong was more political than it actually was religious. A lot of our modern day religions started with very kind of open perspectives. They may have okay, this is what we believe, da 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 da, but it was just like, work with it. But when we start to get institutions involved, we start to get empires, we start to get civilizations involved, then those things shape into something else. And so that's why I say do the history, because you might be afraid of something when really what it is self-hatred. And I know that sounds like, oh, it's kind of harsh. And I've been told before, why you always talk about this stuff on Reiki Healing Hope? I want to escape, because it's okay to, want to escape from time to time, but I want you to heal. I don't want you to be stuck in that you just, you always feel like, oh, when this is too much, I'm looking for an escape. Nah, baby, I want you to heal. And this is some powerful stuff that we're talking about, that can really change and transform you and make you feel whole in life, to solve the problem or to take you in another direction. So release the shame that has been placed on you and placed on your ancestors. Release that. Let it go and talk to them. Be there with them. Allow them to love you. Allow them to be in this space with you. Because all of y'all who have ever felt alone, or felt like no one cared, or felt like no one sees you, or felt like you're not understood, maybe you feel that in the physical, but in the energetic, your ancestors are there just saying, please listen, you are loved, you are supported, you have so much potential. And when we don't trust ourselves, we don't listen to what the ancestors are saying to us, because it takes a huge amount of self-trust to be open enough to hear what they are saying, or to listen to the messages, or to receive those downloads that come through the universe and come through them. And so if you're in this spiral of just not feeling good about yourself, or not thinking that you can do this or that, they are sending solutions, help, guidance, and inspiration all the time. But when you see it, you don't trust it. So you gotta take the first big step of having courage to say to yourself, I'm gonna trust it. I'm gonna trust myself. I don't care what society says. I know that these people in the physical loved me, and if they're still showing up in my life, I'm gonna pay attention to what they say, and I'm going to be happy, and I'm going to be whole. I'm going to create an environment, a system, a infrastructure in my life that brings balance, peace, and gives me and provides for me in all kinds of ways. And maybe systemic social structures have not been able to give you that fully, but you can give that to yourself. Well, family, I hope you enjoyed some of this ancestor talk, and I felt really inspired and called to talk about it, because I think on a global level, and it's not every culture or society, but I just think that there is this modernization of the human experience of the unknown, and a part of that modernization might be a bit of just not connecting on an energetic level. And sometimes when we talk about, gods and goddesses, archangels, even going into Orisha or other energies at that level, that might be exciting. But also remember we have ancestors. And prior to the concepts of many of those energies, which I believe, this is just me, I believe a lot of these energies are just, when you go into a different culture, they're explaining it or giving it a different name. But prior to even the first written expression of these energies, the human experience was ancestor reference, was acknowledging our ancestors. And so life is a combination of all kinds of things. But I think it really is helpful for when people are depressed or they're anxious or they're sad to know that they are not alone when they're going through a hard time in life, to know that they are not alone, to know that they are loved, to know that there's just so much warmth surrounding them at all times, and that there is an energy that is constantly wishing you well. Life in the finite is, it is what it is. It's going to be ups and downs. But that energy that is around you, just protecting you, just holding you, just telling you in your lowest, in your darkest times that I am there for you. You may feel alone, but I am there for you. I want you to have the money you need. I want you to do that. All that stuff is with you at all times. So never forget that. So if there's anything that you feel like you can't do, know that they are rooting for you. If there's ever a solution that you need to a problem that you have, know that they can start to give you messages. They are there with you. And the work that you do when you show up and you have courage in this life is setting the foundation so that everybody who comes after you, your lineage, your line, all those that come after you, get to reap the benefit of this new energetic system you created because you found the courage to believe in yourself in this life while relieving anxiety. So if you're new to the community, welcome babies. This is your nightly self-care routine, a place where you take care of yourself and you do whatever you need to do during this time and in this space to just feel a lot of self-care within yourself. So come on, let's go ahead and get started, okay? So we start our session off with a prayer. It's not a religious prayer, it's just a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and bring us together as a community and as a collective. And because consent matters, to have your permission to say a prayer. Okay, babies. One hand here, one hand there. Hands to heart. Inhale. Exhale. Let's get started, okay? Dear universe, and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest self and validate information for our highest good only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am. Ashe, 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 okay. So just relax here. I'm just gonna pluck away first from around you. And with each gentle pull, just let something go. A responsibility, a to-do list, something that you thought you forgot. The art of losing isn't hard to master. So many things seem filled with the intent to be lost that their loss is no disaster. Lose something every day. Lose something every day. You do not have to keep and hold on to every little bit of energy, hoping to savor the feeling forever. Let it go. Let it have freedom. Let it have the ability to come back to you if it needs to, or for new energy to show up. I'm just gonna work through the energy right here. just exhale, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. And just let it go. I know baby's easier said than done, but I think that's the fun part of it. Do you like walking on the wild side of life? Well, if you like walking on the wild side of life, why not try letting go? Just letting go. Releasing that which is no longer serving you in this moment. Letting it go. Curiously seeing if it comes back. It might not. But release. You cannot control every part of the process. And why would you want to? You can plan. You can try to execute. But past that, it's okay. Let it become whatever it needs to be. Because when you let it become whatever it needs to be, sense, I want to concentrate here or I want to concentrate there as you are receiving this healing in this session, okay? So you get to have choices, babies. You get to have choices. So make your choice. You know, inhaling and exhaling, releasing and send that rush of energy through your spine, through the top, through the bottom, and just send it all the way through, okay? Just kind of weaving and threading into the next level of dimension and time travel or soul travel, weaving together the best experiences from all the experiences that you've had, to let every experience have that within its essence, and breathe in and out, breathe in and out, okay? Breathe in and out, breathe in and out, breathe in and out, breathe in and out, and release. Let go. Let go. Let go. Just 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 let go. And center yourself. Now, I want you to check in with yourself. How do you feel, babies? Is it the head? Is it the nose? Is it the toes? What are you feeling? What's coming up in the moment? What during this session are you ready to release, to let go, to send on in its evolutionary path, so that you can move on from the experience, whatever that is? As you inhale, bring in stillness, and as you exhale, release, let it go. Take all that energy, send it out into the universe, send it to go do something else, but remove it from inside of you. And you can even channel that energy into something, meaning you need motivation. You want to get something accomplished. So you take all of that energy that is moving within you and give it somewhere to go. You give it a release. So you exhale, you send it on. You infuse it into something. And that way the energy has a purpose. It doesn't feel like it's just sticking around inside of you and trapped. It can go. It can go. It can go, and it can grow somewhere else to do something better, to align with new energy where it is needed, rather than to vibrational in how we receive the energy and perceive the energy. Really is that why we label it good or bad. But that same energy that is no longer the calibration or the vibration that you need can be the saving grace for someone else. So we have to be able to let go of the energy. And letting go of the energy means that in your everyday life, you learn when to let go. Let go of old habits, old routines, but most importantly, letting go of old mindsets that keep you where you're at. And in between where you're at and where you're going, it is just simply walking the path. There's no way to jump ahead to it, and why would you want to? There's so much of life to live, so live it. Enjoy each footstep. Learn what you need to. Stumble and take breaks. All of that is a part of existing. Let's normalize existing. We don't have to make it something that it's not. We can understand the colorful array of emotions within all of these experiences and know that ultimately, when we look over our lives, they were purposeful. Imperfect, but purposeful. So never feel bad from where you come from or things you used to do. Just to feel comfort in knowing you are here, you are walking, and we're all walking. And forgive yourself a little bit every day. It then pushes other people to forgive themselves. And I think that we are collectively better off that way. Well, babies, you did a fantastic job. Just relax here, okay? Down, enjoy yourself, relax, and do whatever you need to do during this time to take care of yourself, okay, sweetness? So, you are now one of my babies, just so you know. Mama loves you, okay? So, take a deep breath in. Exhale. 2 more. Exhale. Final breath. And just let it all. Just let it all go. Let it all go. Let it all go. Okay, so if you're new to the community, we start this session off with a prayer. It's not a religious prayer, it's just a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and bring us together as a community and as a collective. And because consent matters, to have your permission to say a prayer. Okay, hearts open, relax. Okay, you ready? Dear universe, and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest self and validate information for our highest good only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am. Ashe. Okay. Okay, good job. Now, let's just go in, and I'm just going to work a little bit through your aura just to kind of prepare you for this shadow work. And so I think nowadays people know the difference between shadow work and light work. I'll give you a little synopsis, but I'm not going to go into it too much. So shadow work is when you're going in to heal trauma, past pain, and kind of get over if you're feeling stuck. And light work is when you want to manifest and bring things into your life. Now there are times where you're doing both at the same time, but most of the time what's actually happening is that a lot of people will want to go in and do light work. You want to bring the love of your life into your life, but you are an energetic hoarder. I'm not saying you babies, I'm just saying that are some people who are energetic hoarders. And so can you imagine in your house, you're full of stuff, and then you want to go get a new furniture set? It doesn't make sense. And so shadow work helps us to clear out and make space so that what is right for us can actually have somewhere to be placed when it comes into our life. So just exhale and just release any pain, any confusion, any doubt. And sometimes it can be memories. Release any memories associated with love that has expired and passed its expiration date. But also the healing love of family, mothers, fathers, siblings, the healing love of friends, people important to you, community, collective. You know, whenever we're in a community, that is very vulnerable too. So we can be in love and have a very loving energy towards our community. And sometimes communities have a weird kind of energy to them. Doesn't have to be all the time, but sometimes they can have a weird energy to them. And so you might fall in love with a community and then they start doing some real weird stuff. By weird stuff, I mean like being mean, or something that you didn't sign up for. And here it is, you were so open and you were so vulnerable, and now you feel like, oh, this really, really hurts. And so that could also be a healing that applies to, all love from an energetic perspective is pretty much the same. Rather, it is that you want to express that in a romantic way, or a platonic way, or within family. So when you start to balance and regulate yourself energetically, it heals a lot of things at one time. So it's not just, okay, let me go do this love healing. Okay, let me go do this friendship healing. Let me go do this parent healing. You can do those things if it makes you feel better. But when you go down to the core of what we're working on when it comes to energy, all of those things heal together. And of course, for those who don't know, the core is always your self-love, how you treat yourself. I was actually just talking about this on Patreon, the difference between personal healings and relationship healings. And when it comes to a relationship healing, sometimes if you notice that it's not a particular person, but it's a theme that continues to go over and over again, then that could be an indication of needing a ancestor healing, or need to kind of acknowledge that your ancestors are there. Why? Because those are the foundations of the relationships, the energetic relationships we have today. So if you go and you make sure that they're taken care of, they also bring into your life the energy and the connectedness of healthier relationships. So if you want to listen to that, that is on Patreon. And you all know that I am currently teaching the Reiki Master Teacher cohort. It's been a very beautiful experience, all of those wonderful energies there. But whenever I'm teaching, it gets me in a very let me explain every concept that's going on here. And so that's one way to experience some of the stuff we're talking about on the Patreon community. Okay, so now just go to the heart and release. 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 Now, I want you to take 3 deep breaths. And the reason why I'm always telling you to breathe is a lot of times we can breathe in a very shallow way, and we're not getting as much energy as we need in our body anyway. So take a deep breath in, a representation of bringing in cleansing energy. Exhale, release. always ask, why are you experiencing this? From a macro view. And whatever answer comes up, don't judge it, don't doubt yourself, just trust it. And even if it doesn't make sense, just take note of it and maybe reflect on it later, see if it applies then. You know, all of this stuff, really, especially when it comes to love healings, it really is just an exercise of loving ourselves. Love is that too, even romantic love. It's really less about the other person and more about how do we allow ourselves to be treated in relationships, how do we conduct ourselves in relationships, and that actually has nothing to do with other people. It is just an exercise of how much we care for ourselves. Because when you love yourself and you care for yourself, you don't treat other people like that, and you don't allow people to treat you in that kind of way, of not being loving, not being supportive, of gaslighting you, of wanting you to remain sick or them to remain sick, or wanting the dynamics to not grow and to remain stagnant. The universe presents different opportunities for us to say, my first job is to love myself, and I remove myself from circumstances, situations, and people who don't embody that same feeling about themselves, as well as create an environment that make it difficult for myself. And I want to stress the point here that it is not a situation in which someone is doing something to you and it's just, oh, whoa, life is happening to me. We all consent to be in different dynamics, so we can remove the judgment. And when we remove the judgment, we can make it easier on ourselves of, why did I stay so long, or why did I let somebody treat me like that, or why, whatever the what ifs are, why didn't this work out, blah, 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 all of that stuff. You can release that when you understand we all were in a dynamic together. And once I realized what I needed to know, it was time for me to go. It's that simple. Much harder in application though. But that's how a lot of things in life are. So relax your energy here. And let's just take out any sadness, any fear, any confusion, any doubt, any wonder of the what ifs. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. And just relax. Just relax, just relax, just relax, just relax. Into this. Okay. Keep breathing here. Relax into this. Release. Now you can bring your hands to earth and breathe in. Go through the crown, go all the way down. And feel how good it feels just to sit in this moment with yourself, just to be in love with yourself, with the moment. Demonstrate to yourself what real love feels like, how to expect that from others. Sit in your own greatness and happiness. Keep breathing. A couple more deep breaths here. And release and let go. Let all of those things go. all of those experiences that no longer serve you, everything that gives you doubt or confusion, let it go. Remove it from your energy, remove it from your body. Be in this moment with yourself and trust in your process. Trust in who you are. Trust that everything you're experiencing will make sense. Trust in it. Couple more breaths. Just to work on this area a little bit. And release it. And move it through the physical body. And again, take a couple more moments and just breathe, sweetie. Breathe sweetness. Breathe in and out. Enjoy every moment of the day. Enjoy every experience. Enjoy every time that you get to wake up and experience the newness of today. That you get to live in this moment. That you get to feel all your senses. That you could connect with all those loved ones here and on. And that you are protected and you are connected and you are loved infinitely, and so on and so on. When you start walking in life from that perspective, it becomes less lonely, it becomes less confusing, it becomes less fearful. Things start to settle down, the dust starts to settle, and you start to see everything clearly. And sometimes things happen at a certain time because that's when it's supposed to happen. And sometimes things don't happen at a certain time because it's not yet time for that. So just learn how to feel comfortable in whatever stage of life you're in and just breathe through that. Alright, just have it on in the background. Help me out. Routine. So during this time, you just take care of yourself. Whatever you need to do in your self-care journey, okay? And if you're new to the community, welcome, 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 babies. And if you're returning, welcome, welcome, welcome back. Mama loves you, okay? So we start our session off with a prayer. It is not a religious prayer. It's just a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and bring us together as a community and as a collective. And because consent matters, do I have your permission to say a prayer? Okay, let's go ahead and get started, okay? So just hold yourself in this space. Breathe in and out. Exhale. Dear universe, and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest self and validate information for our highest good only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. So let's get to plucking away. Let it go. This little problem, we're gonna leave at the market. This little problem can stay at home. This little problem, I don't remember the rest. But exhale. Money problems, love problems, loved one problems, motivation, job, health, soul. So many things, so many pressures that add up in life. So don't feel like, the experience is unique to you. A lot of people are probably feeling this right now, and it's completely normal. Just don't let all of that responsibility and mental pressure take over the experience of just living life. Sometimes you gotta be like, fuck it, and just do the best you can and be like, whatever, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. I'm gonna give what I can give, and if I can't, I can't. So just move that off of your energy, sending that somewhere else, somewhere far, far away, on a beach with buttery sand and warm, coolish water, super blue, with the beautiful wildlife roaming about, breathing, exhaling, and here you are, in this place, without a care in the world, as you look up at the stars, and for the first time, you can see all of the planets and all of the stars so clearly because of complete darkness. And you start to see how big this bright universe really is. How small we are, just one person in this big planet, in this tiny galaxy, in this tiny part of our universe. And then your problems, they don't seem that big anymore. To know that there's most likely not a problem when you get to the core of what the problem really is talking about. There's no problem that another human hasn't already probably experienced, and likely thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people have experienced it too. And so, if they survived, you can too. They are not smarter than you. You got this. Sometimes it's not always about finding a solution, but just living through it, breathing through it. The discomfort sometimes can make it feel like you have to solve it, when sometimes it's just you have to experience it. And the messages you receive, the knowledge, the movement, all of that is leading you somewhere. It is encouraging you to connect in some kind of way. All of that matters. So don't disconnect or discredit your resilience. There's so much within you that you have the full capability of making it through. So don't forget that. So problem number 1, problem number 2, problem number 3, problem number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we gonna do it again. Just taking that off of you. And take it easy. I started this yesterday, but I'll keep it going. The art of losing isn't hard to loving friends. You can't have healthy relationships with your family unless you remove those dynamics that are unhealthy. That's a part of it, and that loss doesn't feel good in the moment most of the time. I think it is so easy for us to feel like when we are bettering ourselves, that every move we make, it should feel good and justified. But that's not really true, you know. You can deeply love someone that you have no business being with. You can deeply care for people that you've outgrown. You can deeply love family in a kind of way, but also know that they have no intention of changing with you, and know that that's not something that you need right now in your life. And I'm not saying that that is particularly what's going on with you. I'm just giving you examples of how people are trying to navigate. You can be grateful for your job, and at the same time know that it's your time to go. You can be grateful to God, universe, source, or whatever it is you believe in. That's your business. I don't tell you what to believe in. I don't care. I just focus on what I do and what I believe in. What you believe in is your job. Have fun. Good luck. But you can focus on whatever that connection of the divine is for you. And know that just because you're connecting, it doesn't mean that somehow you're dimming someone else's light, or that someone else's connection is greater or lesser than yours. Even if it's different, even if it's the same. All of these things, all of these things, all of these things in the journey. We can be grateful for life and still be sad sometimes. Sadness is okay. It is okay to not have to feel up all the time, happy all the time, perfect all the time. Sometimes you just need to be with yourself, and it's okay to be with yourself. Don't have unrealistic expectations. You are not a robot, okay? You have real feelings and real experiences, and those have real reactions. So forgive yourself for being human, okay? And give yourself the space to navigate the things that come up in your way. Sometimes it's real smooth and graceful. Sometimes it's very choppy. But regardless, you're doing it. You're making it. And you're flowing in your right direction. Also, do not look outside of you for that validation. Don't look for someone to tell you you're doing a great job. Because if you do that, then you lose the power of enjoying yourself, celebrating your own wins. Don't worry about that kind of stuff. Just know that if you feel right with the steps that you're taking in your life, you can celebrate that. Celebrate that even if it's not exactly where you want it to be. The destination is not there yet, but that's okay. Where you're at now is just as important, because every step of the way brings something magical into the experience. And let's just pluck away all those moments that we thought that the magic had stopped happening. It didn't. Spoiler, it's still happening, sweetness. longer needed. How are you feeling, sweetness? How's the energy? Go fluff up your energy a little bit. How's the energy? How are you here in this moment with yourself? How are you here in this moment with yourself? How are you here in this moment with yourself? How are you here in this moment with yourself? Connect with yourself. Connect with yourself. Connect with yourself and love yourself unconditionally, no matter what part of the path you're on right now. Love yourself unconditionally. Don't seek that outside of you. Find that within you. And then you'll give yourself some compassion as you're navigating the problems that come up. Then you give yourself a little bit of kindness as you understand that it's okay to have things happen in your life, things that you can't control all the time, and you will be okay. You have always found a way to get to the other side. This is no different. You are going to be okay. You are going to be okay. You're 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 going to be okay. Well, family, I hope you enjoyed this session today, and I hope you are taking extra good care of yourself. Baby, let me tell you something. Everybody got problems, okay? But if everyone has problems, don't feel like you have to solve all your problems at one time. Take it a day at a time. Do the best you can, and that's good enough. And I think over time, you start to realize that it really is good enough, because the younger you are, the more that you really haven't had the time to kind of give yourself a break, the more you feel like when you have a problem, if it's not instantly resolved, it's make or break. And that's sometimes what people do to motivate themselves. But I'm just going to be honest with you. You're always going to have a problem here and there. And you're always going to find your way to the other side. So you do not have to overexert yourself getting there, okay? Trust. Have faith in the process. If you are here today, that means you successfully accomplished many tasks before. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. Remember that. And we're going to work on that energy. So, if you're new to the community, welcome. This is your nightly self-care routine. You may be wondering, what does one do during this nightly, daily self-care routine? Well, thank you for asking. I never thought you would. What you do is you take care of yourself. You prioritize your self-care practice and your self-care journey. And so what that means is you do whatever the fuck you want to do. And make sure you're playing me in the background. And you can enjoy the session here. So welcome all of my new babies, and welcome back to all my returning babies. Kisses on the forehead. Mama loves you. So let's go ahead and get started. So we start our session off with a prayer. It is not a religious prayer. It's just a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and bring us together as a community and as a collective embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Okay, rest your face right here, sweetness, and let me get a look at you. So let's just remove any stress, because you can't be irresistible if you're stressed out, baby. We gotta remove any stress. So the first thing here is that, and so I'm just going to calmly just move over your aura, back and forth, and just take this moment to let go. Sometimes when you're trying to find what you're looking for or find your place in life, and you want to attract that energy, you have to find a way to ground yourself. You have to find a way to find balance. And that can be a little bit confusing sometimes, like, what? But there's no wrong answer. Whatever brings you peace, brings you calm, that ultimately helps to attract people, situations, and circumstances to you. The ones that you want anyway. Because you are able to provide what it is that you want to experience out in the world. So, the best way to attract what it is you're looking for is to be what it is that you're looking for. Life hack. So let's just remove that stress from you. Just clearing that out and just starting to pull away any old excuses, old stories, old memories that no longer serve you, and allow you to be in this moment with yourself. You got this. You can do this. And I'm gonna take this moment to work on the heart too. To mend the heart. To feel safe being vulnerable, but also to feel safe to have boundaries. You can have both at the same time. So working on this. Working on this. Working on this. And removing it, remembering who you truly are underneath all of this stuff, that pure energy that flows within you, that many can't wait to be around. All of that is right there in front. So let's work with that. Let's work with that. Let's work with that energy. So I want you to see something that you want, and it doesn't have to be straightforward. It doesn't have to be like, it could be a feeling like, oh, I want to feel this way, or some other other sensory kind of experience, whatever that is. Bring it into the space now. And let's just align your energy with that brings that into your life, and release. You may look crazy a little bit, okay? But what you want will happen. And it's only going to happen if you look crazy a little bit. Because we're all flowing in our own energetic pattern and system. And if you want something that exists outside of this pattern or this system, you have to break that norm. And whenever you break a norm, you will essentially look like you lost your mind. But that's a part of the process of renorming to something else. So never be afraid to step away from that which no longer works in your life, on the path to something else. And when you're on the path, sometimes you don't know if what you're doing will work, but that's okay. You're actually closer to the solution when you're on the path than when you're just kind of rotating in the same place that you've always been. So you're making progress. Okay, so let me see your face one more time, okay? Okay, and just wipe away any past pain that needs to just stay in the past. It allows you to simply live in the present moment with your present self, the present feeling, the present essence of all of these experiences. Stay in this moment. Stay with yourself. Bet on yourself. Bet that even if you don't know what the answer is, what it's supposed to look like, you'll figure it out. And let's bring what you need into your space. Let's bring what you need into your space. Let's bring what you need into your space. Let's bring what you need into your space, okay? So let's just gently move things around that may be helpful for you, okay, sweetness? Just take your time here, take your time. Take your time. Just follow. Follow and take your time. Take your time. Take your time. Because there is no need to rush. And let's go back into our sewing of the qualities you like about your life, anchoring it in. Is it your wisdom? Is it your curiosity? What are some of the things that you love about yourself that can activate attracting what you need in your life? Inhale, exhale, and you work you feeling, sweetness? How's it going? What's coming up for you in this moment? In this moment. So let's just slow the energy down and just take our time here. Expanding and contracting. Expanding and contracting. Expanding and contracting. Expanding and contracting. And now feel the energy that you need. Feel the energy that you have been searching for on this journey. And know that it is there for you. Know that it exists in the world. Keep breathing. Keep breathing through this. And you're doing a fantastic job. Well, family, I hope you enjoyed this session, and I hope you continue to find patience and balance for yourself, okay? Let me see the face again. Beautiful. Your irresistibility has been recalibrated, and now you're aligned with whatever it was that you needed today. It is now here to balance you in whatever way that you needed to be balanced and to be at peace here. So, as I always talk about, when it comes to attracting, if there's anything that you want or you feel like you're missing in life, you have to be that in order to bring it into your life. And when you become whatever it is you are seeking and searching for, you no longer project your needs or your expectations externally. You then instead satisfy your needs and your desires internally. And who you become, that light, that beacon of hope, is what others can also be inspired by to kind of go within the self and work with their selves too. So don't shy away from going on the journey. Don't shy away from being yourself, because that is what makes you you. That is what makes this beautiful experience worthwhile for it. Well, let's go ahead and get started, okay? So we're going to start this session off with a prayer. It is not a religious prayer. It's just a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and bring us together as a community and as a collective. And because consent matters, to have your permission to say a prayer. Okay, let's get started. May I touch you? Okay. Dear universe, and all for the highest vibration of good only, please connect us to our highest self and validate information for our highest good only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am Ashe. Ashe, Ashe. Okay, so just begin to pull out anything that no longer serves you, taking up too much space, bringing adventures or intrigue. Let it go. Release everything that needs to be let go. Release everything that needs to be let go. And send it on to its evolutionary path. Sometimes we'll be on a cycle, and a cycle is really more like a spiral. It's not like this, it's more like that, where we'll come back around and be experiencing something over and over again, just in a new way. Because guess what? Now you are an elevated version of yourself. Now you get to choose to make new decisions, have a different reaction, to move with intention rather than fear, lack, confusion, or loss. Now you move with understanding, peace, and freedom. Let's remove any pieces of you that need to be let go and send them on to grow somewhere else. Let's remove out any parts of you that's just on the surface, that may just be a distraction from something that you can deeply be focusing on. Let's just work through every little moment within you and just take our time. That from childhood, that from middle age, that from older age, and that from the connection to the next. All of those things. We are now one with and beyond. Speak to yourself. Speak to your heart. Open your mind. Free yourself. Release the cycle and go on a new journey. Release the fear of being small and embrace a big world beyond. Release anything that makes you feel confused or not feel good enough, and allow it to go on. So now let's just pull out anything creating mental stress, anything that's taking up too much space. You know, I love to say it like that, taking up too much space in your cranium, and send it on somewhere else. Where, you may ask? Onto its evolutionary path to do something else that don't matter with you. It's kind of like when you break up with someone and then you feel right, you feel like it's the right decision to break up, and then you're just always wondering, well, what are they doing? That's not your business. Move on. And like anything else in our lives that we move on from, move on. Move on from complicated working environments, strange life environments, not a strong sense of self-love environment. Move on from it. Not knowing who you are. Just gonna pluck away anything that causes confusion or makes it difficult for you to connect. Just going to send that on. who you are? Do you remember everything about you that is so beautiful? Do you remember everything about you that is kind and interesting? Do you remember everything about you that is patient, peaceful, and inquisitive? Do you remember all of those things about you? Do you remember each moment, 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 Love yourself each and every day a little bit more and more. And I will see you tomorrow.